He that stealeth the man.
This is Exodus chapter 21.
Is it 21 or 20?
I believe it's 21.
Bible shot.
This is Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16. It says, "And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death."
Now, this is the reasoning why these chariots are going through the whole earth. All right, because the whole world has had a part in our captivity. They Psalms chapter 83. They set up a tumult to take down the nation of Israel. Okay, they blatantly did this, specifically because we are the children of Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? And they didn't want us to be held in any esteem. King David, calling Yahweh Shemel Shai, King David, was the one that put them in subjection under us, and they had some animosity against that. But Baruch Shai, you got it.
Yep. Nowadays, Esau got he got a space force. He got particular things, in the upper atmosphere, so satellites, things of that nature. You mind if I get this real quick?
You got it.
This is Obadiah 1 and 4. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord." So part of the reason why the Lord allowed Esau to get to the level that he's at is ultimately so that the war in heaven that the scriptures talk about can take place.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Lord can make an absolute fool and embarrass Esau, on a global scale. Because it's going to be easy work.
Yeah. It says it's going to take like an hour for Yahweh Shemel Shai to decimate Esau.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, so this space force, which is really a no force, because Esau's only using the things that Yahweh Shemel Shai gave him. Okay. But going into those chariots that are here right now, that are hovering over missile silos, turning them on, turning them off to show Esau Edom that his power isn't great. All right. All right. So with that, we're gonna just jump straight to Second Esdras. Second Esdras. It's like
15.
Yeah, Second Esdras. No. Second Esdras 13. 13 and 6.
God. This is Second Esdras chapter 13 and verse 6. It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself."
Oh, no. Start at 3, Salakia.
To Second Esdras 13 and 3. It says, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven."
So it's going to be thousands and thousands of chariots that's going to come with the Yahweh Shemel Shai. Bible Shai.
It says, "And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him."
So Yahweh Shemel Shai, better yet, Bible Shai, Salakia. Start at 1.
This is Second Esdras chapter 13 and verse 1. And it reads, it says, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And behold, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him."
Because Yahweh Shemel Shai, he is the reason why we are all here, and every molecule, every animal, everything known to man and not known to man knows this. Okay, now and Yahweh Shai is dreadful to look upon. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Can I get a precept?
Bible Shai.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 5:2.
There
It
you go.
says, "When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear,
Boom.
and shall be amazed with the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for."
Because that's Yahweh Shai Shai. They're going to be in fear because for one, they're going to see a big so-called black man, all right, that is adorned in armory, in an armory of defense
Mhm.
to fight against the world.
Right.
But you got it.
I got one more. This is Wisdom of Solomon 8
Boom.
and 15.
Boom. Boom.
It says,
Read 14 and 15, Bible Shai.
Khan, Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 14. It says, "I shall set the people in order, and the nations shall be subject unto me."
See, so this is Yahweh Shai, saying that he's going to set the people in order. How is he going to do that whenever he puts all these kingdoms down? Okay, you got it.
Verse 15, it says, "Horrible tyrants shall be afraid when they do but hear of me."
So Esau, Edom, he is a horrible tyrant. All these other nations, they are horrible tyrants over their populace. Okay, well, Esau, Edom's over his populace and on those that they stole, as we read in that Exodus chapter 21, verse 16.
Mhm.
But you got it.
It says, "I shall be good among the multitude and valiant in war."
So to usward, he's going to be good. Yes, he's here. He's coming to deliver us. Those of the 1/3, those of the 2/3, they're going to be in dreadful fear. Okay.
That's it. This is back in 2nd Ezra 13. And if I may too, you can also link those to Revelation 19.
Yep.
When it goes into the Lord, coming in on that white horse.
With all the crowned kings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it.
It's 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 3 again. It says, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice."
And that's the word of Yahweh Shai, because they're going to be in dreadful fear, off just the word or the utterance that he speaks alone.
Yeah.
You got it.
And that's a token, that's a foreshadowing to the lasers
Done.
lighting your ass up. ICBMs.
But and also that's in the same ways like unto usward, because Yahweh Shai said the works that he is doing, we're gonna do greater, and this word alone is shaking this kingdom. Right? This word alone is causing them to be in dreadful fear. It's causing them to be in dreadful fear because we are speaking what they are doing into existence before they even do it. Okay, and that's only a gift from Yahweh Shai. Right, but you got it. Salaki.
Isaiah 13 and 4, it says, "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number, for the four winds, or from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea."
So they're going to try to combat against Yahweh Shai. All right, they're going to try to take him down. But this is a man that has all power. He's the second in command under Yahweh. So like he's second in command under Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look like trying to put him in cuffs? But you got.
Can I get something for you?
Yeah.
This is Revelation 16, I'm going to read 15 and 16. It says, "Behold, I come as a thief.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame." Meaning basically that you're supposed to be circumspect, you're supposed to be paying attention to what's going on, but you're also supposed to be, abiding by the dress code.
Yep.
Which is the doctrine.
Yep.
The instructions. Like if you were to receive a wedding invitation, you receive a wedding invitation, you should already know off rip, if you're in the spirit, that there's a certain thing you're supposed to be wearing, and there's a certain way you're supposed to be conducting yourself. That's what the garments is going into. But this is a point in verse 16. It says, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Armageddon. Which when you go into that word, it means the mountain of troops.
Yep.
The valley of the Hashpat.
The valley of Hashpat.
It's all talking about the same place.
Which
is what we see happening
right now
in real time.
Yeah, because and to put that in perspective, all this aggression that America is showing against Iran, and the dragons of Arabia, which we brought out last week. All right, that is leading them to the same central area of Yehoshaphat. Yep. All right, but you got it.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 6. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, but I could not.
See, he couldn't see the region where that mountain was dug up, where he can fly upon, or he, me personally, and this is me speaking as a man, I think of it as a wall cloud. Because a wall cloud, you can't see the edges of it because it's so big, but it's actually small in the general vicinity that it's, moving at, and great destruction happens from it. Mm-hmm. But you got it.
This is verse 7. It says, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight.
Yeah, so even though they were afraid, the Most High made them fight. All right, because all these other nations have to know that they have no power. All right, no one has power to overcome Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And that's why they are dreadfully afraid right now. All right. And whenever they touch the apple of the Most High's eye, which is his elect men, that's upon the face of the earth right now, then the Most High will make that standard lifted. Mm-hmm. But you got it.
Con, you want to keep going on this?
Nah, we can jump to 15 and 34. Because like I stated, we're going to continue it. Salakia. We're going to continue with what was read last week. So we're going to start at 34 about the shot.
This is 2 Ezra 15 and 34. It says, behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm.
Salakia. We should have got that precept going to how the clouds are the chariots.
Psalm 104?
Yeah, Psalms 104.
I was holding that. This is Psalms 104, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, bless the Lord, O my soul. O Yahweh, my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covereth thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot.
All right, so Yahweh Shem Yahushai maketh the clouds his chariot. So if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, Nimbus was the cloud that Goku rode upon. Mm-hmm. Okay, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai does that in a more miraculous fashion. Okay, these clouds, which are full of wrath and storm, there's something that is that was and is going to be feared in the times leading up to. All right, because they're calling it UAPs and IFOs or I'm not hip to their genre, but uh, but these are the weapons of Yahweh Shemiah Shai.
Mm-hmm.
Now continue in that 16 or that 15 and 34 Bible Shai.
So second Ezra 15:34, it says, "Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are horrible, they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star."
See, so uh, the chariots of Yahweh Shemiah Shai is dreadful to look upon, you know, and it says that they're from the north, the south, and the east. They didn't say anything about the west because they're already in the west. All right, Yahweh Shemiah Shai has already have had a controversy with this area here, Babylon the Great. You know, Bible Shai.
Kind. Can I get some?
Bible Shai.
This is Habakkuk 3:11. It says, I'm gonna read verse 10. It says, "The mountains saw thee, and they trembled." You know, we know mountains represent governments. You know, and then every government got an army. You know what I'm saying? It says, "The mountains saw thee, and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high." Talking about the presence of the Lord, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, it says, verse 11, it says, "The sun and the moon stood still in their habitation, and at the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear." Now I'm going to read this verse in the NLT. Habakkuk 3:11, it says, "The sun and the moon stood still in the sky as your brilliant arrows flew and your glittering spear flashed." You know, basically going into the imagery of when Yahweh Shai is going to be striking these nations.
Yeah.
You know, striking these kingdoms via the chariots. Not only is he going to be using, you know, the lasers, the fire, that breath that we read about in 7:13, but the chariots are also going to be redirecting his own shit, Esau's own shit
against him. You know, because they have the power to do so. They have Yahweh Shemiah Shai on their side. All right, if Yahweh is so like if Yahweh Shemiah Shai is for you, who can be against you? Loosely paraphrasing.
Right.
But you got it.
Con. So second Ezra 15 and verse 35. It says, "They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star."
You know, talking about these 2/3. You know, they're gonna get put down because they choose to fight against the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But you got it.
It says, "And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly."
You know, from the sword to the belly. But should I continue? So like, you know,
it says, "And the dung of men unto the camel's hoof."
Yeah. So unto the dung of man, unto the camel's hoof. Now, it says in the GNT, the GNTD, so like, that it's going to be up unto the horse's belly or to the camel's knee. All right, and that's roughly like 3 or 4 feet. You know, so
a lot of death.
A lot of death, and then the dung, you know, a dead body is like unto dung, you know, because it's nothing of worth. That's why it says in that Revelation chapter 11 verse 8, "And the dead body shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt." You know, these 2/3 are going to be cut down, and they're going to be left. You know, no one's going to bury them. You know, that's why that strong smell is going to come up.
And most 2/3, especially males, military age 2/3, they're going to die over there.
Yep.
That's how they're going to go out. They're going to get sent over there to the Valley House spot over there in the Middle East. They're going to get deleted.
They're not going to come back.
Yep.
You know, but you got it.
You want to keep going?
Yeah.
So 2 Ezra 15 and verse 37, it says, "And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them."
So those men that are over there trying to fight against the Lord, they're going to be dreadfully afraid. Now, uh, uh, whenever these chariots go over the whole known globe, everybody is going to see and fear and understand that they're going to be at a position where they need to either bow down or lay down. And how about Shemal Shai is going to be the king that they have to bow down to. All right. Some of them will do it willfully, but these Edomites, don't do it, please. Because holy hell is going to come for you. All right. But you got anything else?
Unless you're going to keep going.
We can, but we can do another part on that. So with that, Dwada for listening. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakodash, Shalom, and Shalom.
Shalom.